This disclaimer was copied without permission. Cheers, Corvus, Wiggles, and all other good people out there. Hopswatch here. So, Stupid Things I Find on Twitter is a new series on my channel, where I basically rant about stupid stuff that I find on Twitter, or occasionally other social media, while of course having a beer at the same time. And today I'll have Dream. I'm playing a lot of Minecraft also, as you may know. Dream from Other Half Brewing Company. Let's see about that. It's an oat cream India Pale Ale, double dry hopped. Sounds good. Smells good. Piney. So today's subject will be Aqua Revolucionaria. Aqua Revolucionaria. That's a Twitter account in the Castilian language, or the Spanish language if you like, in which I am not proficient. So all that I say is based on Twitter's translations or my educated guesses of what the words mean. It's not as random or difficult as it may sound, because I mean the Spanish language has borrowed words as any other language, so it's not going to be that difficult. Piney, very fresh. Some fruity notes there as well, some lemon, vanilla. Don't know about the creamy bit. This is a good traditional, very piney, sharp IPA, as we know them. I would have expected something more soft to the palate, really. This is kind of aggressive, spicy. I love it. Good, rough bitterness at the tonsils, basically stingy on the tongue and on the palate. Good thirst quencher. Maybe a bit more richness that I'm used to with the last couple of IPAs that I had, so maybe that's the cream bit. Anyway, Aqua Revolucionaria. Let's get it up on screen here. There you go. So Aqua Revolucionaria means water revolutionary. Or maybe Aqua is supposed to be understood as a name, so Aqua the Revolutionary or something. Now, the reason I've picked this profile is that it is horrible, yet to some extent surprising at the same time. It crosses over and tries to unite territories that in my world are completely impossible to unify. Let's just start with the bio, shall we? Communista, so a communist, fair enough. Nothing truly alarming yet. I mean, since Kronstadt, of course, people should always be a bit careful about embracing people who call themselves communists. But it's not a term exclusively attributed to Bolsheviks and the like. I mean, there are Spanish and Italian communists, and they're kind of cool, and to a large extent, at least in Italy, pretty softy reformist types. Still, they are calling themselves communists. So, no need to sound the alarm exactly yet, but I mean, the next on the list is incel. So, if you don't know, if you've been living under a rock, or if you're completely new to any political online discourse, incel stands for involuntary celibate or involuntary celibacy. Basically, incels are pathetic young to middle-aged men who claim that it is impossible for them to get a girlfriend, a sexual partner, if you like, because women set ungratefully high standards about which men they want to have as a partner. a sexual partner to be more specific. And the incel men have built up a discourse around themselves, blaming their social awkwardness, their lack of financial potential and status, and a number of other things, which basically bars them from ever getting a female partner. It's a heavily toxic, misogynist and male chauvinist community built on a number of premises that not only presupposes really awful propositions about male-female relationships, such as entitlement to sex on behalf of the man only, of course, and the lack of freedom to choose a sexual partner. It also rhetorically puts women in sort of an advantageous position, which they don't really have, of course, and thus the incel ideology displays men as being oppressed to an extent where the narrative poses it to be completely impossible for them to ever have an amorous relationship. So basically, pathetic men who have, however, been able to formulate a toxic ideology where they weaponize themselves being pathetic and unable to approach dating and relationships in an adult manner. Sometimes with absolutely horrible outcomes. I mean, we have had mass shootings inspired by incel ideology. If you want to know more about incels, I can wholeheartedly recommend Counterpoint's absolutely awesome video about the subject. There's a link to that in the description. It's a good beer. Crispy bitterness. Lacking a bit in contour, I'd still say. I've had more aggressively bitter experiences than this one. I'll give it 4.5. So this is where the beer apparently got to me, so that I skipped a complete and very essential entry in my script, which I will simply read now. Now, how the hell does this incel thing rhyme with communism? The idea that the means of production should be taken over by the proletariat, away from the property-owning class, and this would drive society in the direction of equality and equity, not just economically, but very much also socially, culturally, and also very much in the relation to races, nationalities and gender. I just cannot see how that would work with incels that are notoriously misogynists and in no way able or ready to accept equal footing for men or women or other genders. But we'll come back to that. So, next one up is otaku. I had to look that one up. You see, that's how much of a boomer I am. So otaku is Japanese and signifies a person that has obsessive interests. It can apply to a variety of topics such as anime, manga, cosplay, and so on and so forth. So looking at the artwork, which is used in the profile picture and the banner, I definitely see inspiration from a Japanese anime, and also pretty apparent. There's an inspiration from traditional, if not hardline, Soviet Union and Chinese Communist Party style iconography and clothing. So this person is obsessed, in his own words, chooses a distinct Japanese term to describe it. My guess is that this person, I would guess it's a man, I'm quite sure, with being a self-proclaimed incel. This guy loves anime, and that can suit the incel designation quite well, and he seems to have chosen his ideal dream of a girlfriend anime style as his profile picture. That's a little disturbing. I like anime myself, by the way. It's an immense and very diverse category of culture. Not all of it is about monsters raping children, but my suspicion is that this guy is heavily on an otaku level into that kind of anime, into that shit. Well, let's have another look at the bio, shall we? So, moving on to anti-queer. Just gets better and better, doesn't it? And basically just fuck this guy. Again, I don't see how a notion like that is unifiable with communism. must be an extremely authoritarian bourgeois type of communism, as far as I can see. I mean, as far as I know from hearsay, I haven't studied it myself, but if I understood it correctly, Lenin actually decriminalized homosexuality, which was banned during the Tsars, and then Stalin recriminalized it. We'll come back to Stalin. Next up, we have transphobo. I feel bad even saying these words. I genuinely feel awful going through this. This is just getting worse and worse. Again, how can you call yourself a communist and have opinions like these? This is authoritarian horseshit and bigoted bullshit, and displays every reason why Stalin and the Soviet Union was, well, basically just fucking wrong. And then we have abolitionista, or however you want to pronounce that. This is an interesting one. As I understand it, the word abolitionist means you're against slavery and or the death penalty. But I highly suspect that this person may be thinking about something else, like wanting to abolish any other lifestyle than the conservative and very much traditionally Christian view of a nuclear family. Father, mother, kids, and any other family structure or lifestyle should be abolished. That's what I suspect this moron, this absolutely horrible human being, is thinking of when he's designating himself abolicionista. Could be wrong, of course, but considering that out of the 5 other designations in this bio, I could relate to one, 3 others being heavily bigoted, and the last one, otaku, possibly so. I have a hard time seeing abolitionista fit in any other way than wanting to abolish any kind of queerness that you could basically think of. So, moving on to the pinned tweet, and I really need to use the translator now, the translation function. There we go. So it says, welcome to my profile. Here we support the revolution of the proletarian class. Don't have much of an issue with that, I must admit. The cultural struggle, yeah, well, whatever that means, could be good, could be really, really, really bad. The purges. Yeah, moving now into a complete train wreck. First the purges, then Stalinism. No, it really makes me uncomfortable just to watch this and reading this. I mean, think about it. There are types like these still existing, and in addition to that, they are incels and they like Japanese anime. Not that there's necessarily anything wrong with Japanese anime, but if you know what kind of shit you can find in that genre, this is becoming more and more disturbing. So the dictatorship of the proletariat. Yes, of course they would love that. It's one of the things that Marx detailed very, very little. It was practically just a term he came up with. He had to call the condition society would be in after the revolution. He had to call it something, so he came up with the dictatorship of the proletariat, and that basically was used as an excuse by the Soviets to turn the Soviet Union into a totalitarian autocracy. Bastards. I don't think it's in the Marx sense that dictatorship of the proletariat is used here. It's definitely used in the Stalinist understanding of it. Then we have the anime. Yes, because of course we have. Talking about being obsessed otaku style, it seems as if this guy has to have anime involving everything he does. That would be, I guess, a bit otaku. So, I mean, half a point for self-awareness, I guess. So what made me aware of this Twitter profile was this tweet down here. This is absolutely horrid stuff, and actually I reported that tweet, so and I think you should do as well. Once again, I have to translate the tweet and then I'll simply read it. I proceed to make a classification of females. My parameters will be beauty, difficulty obtaining, home care, adaptation, sexual initiative, intelligence, submission, and puerium. I had to look that up. It seems that there was a typo in the Spanish puterio, not puerio, but puterio. And that means, wait for it, prostitution. So these are the categories after which this horrible, horrible individual will evaluate women. And he will evaluate women of different ethnicities. Moving on. So not only is he heavily misogynist, not only is he heavily bigoted against queer people, be it gays, be it trans people. Oh, now we're moving into some really racist shit. And I feel genuinely uncomfortable going into detail with this. So that he has a number of women from different ethnicities, Slavonic people, Hispanic people, Germans. Then we move down to Nordic people. I'll just take this one because I'm kind of Nordic myself. Well, I guess I've actually got German parents, so it could just as well be German. But let's just look at it. It's an interesting detail because this is apparently, in this guy's view, the typical Nordic woman, and I wouldn't say that she looks much like a traditional Nordic woman. When we see traditional Nordic women, usually they have blonde hair, but I really don't care. But it's interesting nevertheless. This is this awful person's stereotypical view of Nordics. We have low beauty. We are difficult to obtain. Fuck this guy. Home care. Fuck this guy. No. This is just absolutely awful. Adaptation of what? Sexual initiative low. Intelligence high. Yeah, of course. Submission low, and puterio, so this is prostitution, average to low. Oh my fucking god. And I'm an atheist, swearing Christian, or swearing theist. I can't do it another way. It's that's still stuck in me, and it's sometimes just effective to let off steam. What an absolute fucker. So just generally fuck this person. There's a link to this profile in the description, and I suggest that you report this this profile deep into the bowels of hell. Another quick lesson from this, I guess, is that just because it says communist or some other thing in someone's bio doesn't mean that they are our friends in any way whatsoever. Now, I've heard about tankies. This would be a galvanized tankie from hell turned up to 11 or something. And we really also have to consider as leftists that our ideologies that are allegedly on the left, communism, for example, has tendencies like these flowing inside of it. You're not immunized from this kind of extreme authoritarianism and bigotry just because your ideology is associated with the left. And there is indeed a dangerous authoritarian edge to communism. And this thing has massive oppressive potential against gays, against queers of any kind, against trans people, against women, of course, and it has a very dangerous racist edge to it as well. So fuck this person. And that'll be the rant for this time. Like, subscribe, comment and share. Let me know if you like this type of video and if you want to see more of it. Follow me on social media, links in the description, and consider supporting me on Patreon. Always remember to drink responsibly, and until next time, cheers. Just take a quick picture. Stupid phone is slow. Wrong app. I'm so good at this. Come on, stupid camera. There you go. I'm not really good at this at all. I'm a bloody liar. And a bad one at that.